But first we start with the news. About 170 some odd years ago, the first college fraternity ever was created right here on this campus. But this fall, some fraternities are struggling to find enough people willing to pledge their house. We have this report for you. A few weeks ago, when Psi Upsilon President Trey Minter saw the turnout for this year's rush, he was forced to make a harsh decision.
We went through the formal rush process, and at the end we realized we only had 5 kids accept bids. And given the nature of pledging here at Psi Upsilon and the amount of effort that not only pledges have to put in, but also brothers, that it wasn't worth it to do it this fall.
But Psi U was not alone. With only 90 new pledges in the IFC Greek system this term, fraternities suffered a nearly 25% decrease in new membership from last year.
Some chapters aren't doing as well as others for whatever reason, but this is normal fluctuation in numbers. This year, there's many students still interested, just not as much as last year.
Although Panhel's numbers stayed around the same, all 5 MGC organizations opted not to hold pledging this term. MGC President Naeem Mohammed said this is perfectly normal.
I just think chapters decided not to. There's absolutely nothing like on the books that says we can or we couldn't, or when we can or when we can't.
So why did IFC fraternities suffer such a decrease in new membership? One reason was the soccer team. Coach Jeff Gwynn discouraged his players to rush this fall. In a statement, Gwynn wrote, "The timing of the rush during our season, which is only 8 weeks long, is an issue, and we encourage players to find alternative times to become members of frats if they wish."
If you have practice and you have other commitments, that's a lot on someone's plate. That's a lot to deal with at one time. So they've asked many of their athletes to not rush and pledge during season.
In addition, grade restrictions drove away close to 10 potential pledges this year.
The SAC, the Student and Advisory Committee, instituted a policy that puts a restriction on grades. So essentially it's to protect students from adding time commitments to their schedule when they have lower grades and they're below a 2.0 or an academic warning.
Some suggest that the social liability attached to fraternities may have also contributed to the decrease in numbers.
I think the men face a whole different set of problems that we do that we don't even have to deal with, mainly fraternity parties and kind of the social stigma that they have.
It is a reality that there is a possibility of lawsuit if someone is hurt or killed, but our Greeks on campus do everything we can to limit those liabilities, and just as any homeowner or any person can be sued, a Greek chapter can be sued as well.
One positive note this term is the search for a director of Greek life, a position that has never existed at Union. Greek leaders hope to find someone that will improve the PR of fraternities and sororities.
Someone with a vision, with a goal. Someone who says, you know what, Greek life at Union is here, and in 2, 3, 4 years, I'd like to see it get here.
One of our biggest problems is when something bad happens, everyone hears about it. But then when we do all our philanthropy, have grades that are just par with the student average, that's not seen, that's not heard about.
I think it's really going to help us out. It's going to be someone to focus on us, and that's going to make us stronger in years to come.
Despite all these difficulties, Greek leaders stand by the strength of the system, agreeing that Greek life on all fronts will survive at Union forever.
I know a lot of people are making a big deal about, IFC's numbers being a little bit down. I don't see it as a big deal. Panhel's doing fantastic. So I think and MGC is doing fine as well. So I think it's going to be fine. I really do.
Greek life will be here forever at Union.
You are watching News on the U. So are students just tired of Greek life, or was this just an off year for the IFC fraternities? We sent our 2 new reporters, Chris and John, out to get a report. Check it out.
Now, Sam, how do you feel about Greek life on campus?
I think Greek life can have a very positive influence on campus. We're involved in a lot of activities on campus that are really making it a better place to be.
So, Emma, are you going to apply to a sorority?
No. It was never part of my decision to come to this school for a sorority. I just don't see it in my plans at all.
Now, why don't you think you'll want to apply to a sorority?
It just doesn't seem like something that I'd be comfortable with. I don't feel like I need to be a part of a sorority to feel connected with the campus.
Pledges for fraternities were down and sororities were up. Do you know probably how that can be explained? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I know sororities in general were really striving. We're coming together as the 3 sororities. I'm a member of Panhel, so I represent sort of all 3. But we're really just trying to get our names out there on campus. I think the women particularly, as much as we're getting involved in all areas of campus, it's helping up our numbers because we're getting a wider variety of people interested, and we're doing a lot more.
So, being a freshman, do you think you'll ever pledge in the future?
I'm not really sure, because I mean, I know a lot about frats, but I feel like there's no information about sororities.
It just also has bad connotations in my mind with girls and bitchiness, and I just don't want to be part of that.
I'm here with Adam right now, and he actually has a pretty interesting story in regards to Greek life. Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, actually, a few friends of mine were getting together and decided to bring back the Chi Psi fraternity, which got kicked off campus a couple of years ago. And it's an interesting aspect because now there'll be one more fraternity on campus, which brings all the other numbers down for other fraternities. So if you see numbers that are lower, it's due to this new frat that we're starting this year.
And Vadim, how do you feel about Greek life on campus?
You know, John, I don't really know very much about it. I mean, I'm a freshman, and freshmen aren't allowed to rush.
Maybe there's just like a bad rep for the frats, and nobody really knows about the sorority, so they just join them.
It's just as big as a Minerva sort of thing, except it's more, you're going to be with guys you live with, guys you want to be friends with. And
Personally, I would not want to join a fraternity.
And why is that?
I believe it would be too distracting. It's nice to go out and be there, and party, you know, on weekends, but to live there would be crazy.
And why do you think Greek life is important to campus?
Greek life is important to campus just like any other club is. It's a chance for kids to find their niche on campus. It's a great opportunity for social connections. It just offers so many possibilities. Alumni connections as well. There's just, the reasons are endless.
I mean, I'm not really sure how it works, and maybe I have the wrong idea, but the way I understand fraternities work is you pretty much have a party every day, all day.
Yeah. Pledges for fraternities were very low, and for sororities were really high. Do you have any opinion as to why you think that was?
I don't know. Perhaps it's because of the bad connotations for fraternities and partying and stuff like that, and maybe sororities have a better rep.
Being a freshman and knowing a lot of the freshman class, have you seen a general opinion of the freshman class if they're going to pledge to fraternities or sororities or not?
People I've talked to, most people say that they don't really want to, or at least doesn't seem like a high priority.
All right, thanks, fellas. Good job.